Hello, everybody. This is Luthien once again, and it's time once more for Eating Crafters. So let's get into the game here. Back to failures, and I will get you up to speed on everything that has happened since the last time I was here. Now, the first thing, well, you'll notice I'm in a different location. I built this little miniature base. Where's the door here? Okay. Out in this area. I'll explain this area in a bit. First thing I'd like to show you is I had built the quote-unquote hot base. Now this was a base that was part of my objectives to build in an area of the planet that was very inhospitable by heat. Let's see. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Okay. Right. So it's over this way where you see those mountains in the distance. Let's see if I can get a little bit more speed going here. Now, one quick note is that while I was over here, I did discover that there is, as you see it, that building right there is mining for phosphorus. So I did find some phosphorus and analyze it, and then, whoops, the controls on the ship are a little bit wonky. Now here is where I built the hot base. Alright, I need to slow down. And well, I wasn't too sure if I was going to need any other source of power out here, like if it was too hot for the windmills. Oh my. Okay. Driving with Luthien. Because it turned out I couldn't build a landing pad out here. The thing just busted into pieces as soon as I finished building it. So I built a geothermal plant in case I needed power out here. And then I built this reinforced base with all these data center processor things. What's the name of them? Hang on. Here it is, data centers. And so having built those, that completed the objective and moved me to the next stage of terraforming. Actually, let me check something. So, electrical panel. Because I never actually put an electrical panel in here. Didn't seem to want to take either. Try that again. Oh, cement. Okay, fine. Whatever. Anyway, it got the objective accomplished. I've not really built anything else out here other than this power, which is actually quite expensive, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that out here. I built a few of these geothermal plants, but as it turns out, after I built my third one, you can't build any more. It just disappears from the build menu. So, yeah, that's fun. It's okay, though, because there are other ways that I can get power going. I've not really been tinkering about with the solar panels, although I'm aware that they're available. Let's see, am I going the right way? Yeah, for the most part. Okay. Well, maybe I'll build some solar panels today. We'll see. I'm not too sure what I'm exactly going to do. over here, I think is the right way. No. So just a little bit further, I see it now. See where there's less clouds over the water and there's a little bit of green on the ground. Okay. Start slowing down. Not too keen on the controls of this ship, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, these landing pads, kind of similar to No Man's Sky, except they were kind enough to have a tractor beam draw you in, rather than make you actually do all the landing yourself. But anyway, there it is. Once you land it on one of these pads, it'll recharge. So if you tap it, you see the battery and the energy is charging up. Okay, so here I am back at my OG base, and there's a few things different around here. One is I built a tier 2 warehouse. Now, you can unlock the tier 2 by simply building the tier 1 warehouse. So I built that and then tore it down and built a tier 2. And why do I want a tier 2 warehouse? Well, it specifically offers that you can have your inventory stack size increased. Where is it? It's warehouse tier 1. Here it is. So yeah, it says it'll increase by 10 the maximum stack size of elements in your inventory, and it'll go all the way up to 50. I'm not built quite that many yet, so my stack size is up to 40, as you can see there. And there's another really nice advantage to having the warehouse built, and that means that anything that's inside of your warehouse you can use remotely. So it's kind of similar to the Build Anywhere mod from on Planet Crafters. I've never used that mod, but basically anything that's in your inventory you can just use without carrying it on your person. So for example, I'm not carrying any of the stuff I need right now to make a windmill, but if I wanted to make a windmill, for example, here you go, right? And I can do that anywhere on the map, literally anywhere on the map. So I fell inside of a tunnel. So that's very handy and very useful, and that really changes the game a lot for me, because that means that no longer do I need everything going to a central location. I can decentralize my production around the map and make things less cluttery. So let me just tear this down because I don't want this here right now. And it also means less things I'll have to carry around with me. So I decided that since I have 2 iron deposits out in this area, that I'll just shift all my iron production here. So here's one iron ore deposit, and here's another. So I have them both going into forges, which are making the ingots. And then one of these, well, the ingots themselves are going off in a belt to the warehouse. And then here's one machine making the rods. And then right adjacent to it is another machine making the iron plates. Then further on down the line, these rods are also going to the warehouse, and they're going to producing gears, and then the gears themselves are going to the warehouse. The plates and other rods are going into this assembling machine. The assembling machine is constructing iron beams, and then the iron beams also go into the warehouse. So all of these things I don't need to carry around on my person at all anymore. So I figured that something I could do is just keep an eye on the map for any areas where there's a lot of one type of resource, and then I could base production of the parts that require that resource in that area. So if you look over here, I have a couple osmium deposits. So I decided to move, well, first of all, before I get too far ahead of myself, I also built one of these. This is one of the vehicle hangars. Inside of there is one of my vehicles. This is a steamroller, and this is a rover. Still have not yet. Once I start building roads, I'll probably use a rover more. And then I've just kind of gradually been tearing things down. It's still a little bit messy around here, but as hopefully you can see, it's not quite as cluttered as before. And so I wish to continue along that trend. Also, I've noticed that once an area is completely made fertile, then you don't have to keep these terraforming machines there, right? So, for example, this one is out in the hot area. I don't know if it's going to completely fertilize this area. 100% fertile. So I don't need, for example, to keep this machine running. So I can just tear it down and it'll stay fertile. It's not like Planet Crafter where if you get rid of the machine, then all of a sudden you won't have the greenery in the area anymore. So that's nice. I can just pack up shop and move elsewhere, and hopefully that will reduce my need for having so many of these water pumps and tubes all over the place. I unlocked the next tier water purifier, and I believe it's over here somewhere. Yeah, right here. And it'll actually get the water up to 100% pure, and as you can see, the water's nice and blue now, not green as it was before, but it's just one tiny little patch of blue. You can see out in the distance it's still very green water. Okay, what else have I done? Okay, so I think at this point we'll head back over to the osmium location, and I will, well, first of all, let me see if there's any junk in my inventory I need to get rid of. Okay, so I don't need iron beams anymore, nor do I need iron rods. Filters I'll hang on to. Rock, no. Heaters, yes. Don't need this stuff. Don't need iron plates. Rotors I might need. Okay, let's just sort all this stuff out. Also made some oxygen capsules because I had a few close calls while I was out working. Just lost track of time. Might just need some more cement as well, so let me grab some of that. And just put this one back there. Okay. Now let me grab something to eat. And then let's be on our way. One thing I would like to do is have everything that I'm producing or that can be produced stored in a warehouse so that I don't really have to run around a lot as I've had to before in the past. Deal with such a mess. Okay. Keep forgetting it's not that far from my original base. Yeah, I would really like there to be an easier way to land these spacecraft, but anyway. So out here, yeah, there was a couple of osmium deposits pretty close to each other. So I figured it would be an excellent location to make all my osmium-based products. And so with this first one, I have them going to a forge, making ingots, and then the ingots are going into the warehouse, and then they're also going to this alloy forge, which was not at all easy to set up. The alloy forge is making these osmium alloy, and it's very useful to have these because this is how I'm making my conveyor belts these days. But to get the alloy, you need also this gold. So I had to find where was some gold nearby, and there happened to be some gold along the coast out here. And I needed water for it anyway, so I just love when the game does this. Okay. Anyway. Since the belt isn't really... If the belt was moving, there's no way I'd be able to walk along it because it's so much faster than me. Right. So the water pipe and the gold are moving more or less parallel to one another through the mountain. Every so often it'll move because it's still producing those plates. All right. And so here we are out here where there is a gold deposit, and I also found some water, and I decided to construct one of these big boy water pumps, the tier 2s. So they produce about 4 times the amount of water that the original needs. So I don't need to build nearly as many of them. And then over here, miner for the gold ore. And I also put a water purifier, one of the tier 2 ones out here. So you see another patch of blue water in a sea of greeny, cloudy water. There's some nice little bit of blue water here. And I might actually do a bit of terraforming here, but I think this is an inhospitable area anyway, at least for now, so I'll do that later. Just stick a pin in it, so to speak. We're going to head back to base. And then the next thing I needed to do was get the infrastructure set up for some of my other osmium-based parts. And a lot of those required steel components or iron components to kind of... It belonged in the recipe, so it'd be like osmium ingots and maybe a gear or an iron plate or something like that. So the next step was to find a nearby iron deposit. The iron deposit, well, it wasn't particularly close, but I put in a little sensor array. You can see it spinning on top of my little base there, and I was able to locate one that wasn't too terribly far of a distance away. actually two. And they're coming in from out in the west. So there's not really that much to see out there. There's just a couple iron deposits and some conveyor belts transporting ore to these two machines. You can see it on the map. It's about, there's one and there's the other. So I have them running parallel. And so I kind of had to do my iron setup all over again, where I have my rods and my plates. And then some of these are going into an assembling machine. And this one is making the osmium drills. The next one is making the gear assemblies. And the gear assemblies require gears, of course. So you need iron rods to make gears. So I had to set up the equipment to produce that. And then the last one here is making the composite beams. So that actually needs the iron beams and the alloy rather than just the osmium ingots. So I had to put a little T-splitter coming out from this machine so that some of the osmium alloy will go to make some of those I forget the name of it, composite beams, right? And then it also needed the steel beams, so I needed to set up another one of these machines, putting the plates and the rust together to make iron beams, and then feed it into that machine there. And while it's still kind of like, it's not the most beautiful, but it definitely does seem a lot more organized than what I had going back at my own base. And some of these things I didn't even have being built automated yet. So it is very nice to be able to just pull these out of inventory now rather than make them at a workbench. And so that's pretty much that for my osmium. And the next area I would like to look for is a place where I can do all my copper automation. Let me hop in this ship. Wow, I was really low on oxygen too. So looking at the map here, I see, well, here's a couple large copper deposits here. But I also see some copper over here, which are closer together, and they're also pretty close to, let's say, some gold and maybe some other things that I'm probably going to need. So what I would like to do is set up out that way and get copper going. Yeah. So let's see. How do I pin things on my map? Okay, I'm just going to have to... Oh. Did I just pin it on the map? I did. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. I think maybe the P button. Okay, let's hop out of my ship here and have a look around. There's one copper. And another should be slightly off to the left. That's osmium. Hold on, am I blind? So 1 copper. The other should be just behind me. There? Okay, so these are the 2. So I need to think about where I'm going to put my warehouse. I think that maybe over here against this rock face might not be a bad shout. Let's see. Warehouse, warehouse, warehouse. Where are you? No. Here. Alright, so I'm going to pin this to 0. Alright, so I don't actually need that much. I just need some glass panes and some basalt concrete. So let's head back to the main base. Grab those things. As more space becomes available, I'll probably move this landing pad closer to the center of this old base. Although how much will remain of this old base after I move everything remains to be seen. Anyway, let's grab something to eat and grab those items which I needed. I think there were glass panes and basalt concrete, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. Here's some. I need a lot more than that, though. Do I have any glass? Let's get rid of this stuff, shall we? Just don't need junk cluttering my inventory. Right. Okay, steel alloy. Note to self, you need to go and make some more steel alloy. See, that's carbon fiber. Okay, I don't have any glass pane. Oh, I do have some glass panes, but not in stock. Alright. So, basalt is on this side. Now, here we go. Just need 80. Throw this back. Right, and then glass panes. How many did I need? 90. All right. The glass was... Hold on. Here we go, glass panes are here. Here. Alright. And before I forget, let me throw some of this extra junk in the rubbish bin. Okay. I think everything else is fine. Yeah, I might need to get some more regular concrete as well. I just don't want to run out. Okay. I know I'm probably forgetting something, but it's fine. It's not that far. Right, so okay, come on, ship, fly straight. That's a good job I left that push pin on my map. I hate inverted controls so much. Oh my gosh. I'm guessing I'm around where I need to be. Okay. So where was I going to build that? Well, first of all, let me just get my bearings here. Where's those copper deposits? Up over here. Here's one. Is that the other one? It is. Okay. So I think what I was going to do is put a little warehouse over here. I say a little warehouse. All right. Let's make sure conveyor ports are facing the right way. Something like that. Right. It takes a while for it to come up, but it will. And I think once it does, it's going to increase. My stack size is a 50. Let's see. Yes. So now everything's going to be able to be 50 high. A lot of ore on the ground. I kind of want it to be gone. Although I don't really need it. Right. Now, For my osmium area, I'd actually use the steamroller to flatten the area out a bit, but this area doesn't seem too bad, so I think I can skip that step in this particular instance. Alright. So how am I going to... Alright, I guess I'll just face it straight forward. Actually, probably a little bit finicky of me, but I like having these things. Oh, there's no power, is there? Alright. Well, I guess let me put up a few windmills for the time being. Maybe one or two more. Alright. I'll probably have to build some more later, but for now it should be fine. Alright, so next I need to make some ingots. So... break out this machine. Oops, I did something wrong. Alright. I didn't like it. It'll probably work, but it's just, I don't like that at all. Alright. 2, 3. Alright. Right. So the next thing I need to do is to make a splitter. And it's facing the exact wrong way. Should be fine. Alright. So I'll feed copper ingots directly into the warehouse over here. The next item is the copper plates. How are we doing on power? We're still fine on power. So let's see. 2, 3, 4. Something like that. You just happen to be in the wrong place, Mr. Rock Deposit. There we go. And alright. It's going to be making, there we go, copper plates. But for some reason, the splitter is not splitting. Okay, let's try that again. Sometimes they just don't want to hook up correctly the first time. Okay. There we go, now it's working. Perfect. Perfect. So now, I just feed a belt. Let's take a look at the warehouse. Yeah, we're filling up ingots, copper plates. I think the next thing I need to make was copper wire. Let's see. Cable. Alright. Well, let's get this other copper deposit up and going. Where was that? Slightly over here. Okay, there it is. Uh-oh. Where's my ship? I could use an O2 canister, but really, it's okay. If I don't have to, I won't. Okay. Right. Same sort of deal. Come on. Right, it should be fine. Over here, perhaps. So. Right, and then hook it on up. How are we doing on power? Okay. I had to put up a few more windmills. It's so cool just walking around, just pointing and clicking windmills to just appear. It's like you're like a genie or something. There you go. That should be enough for now, I should think. Alright. So, let me think on this. So we're going to make a machine for copper wires. So 9. Yeah. 3, 4. Do I really need them to be that close? No. But I'm doing it anyway. Alright. Then I suppose what I can do, because I'm not sure if I'm going to need them for anything else, make a splitter up here. Right, so 6 facing completely the wrong way. Right. Same with this belt. It's just nice to be able to point and click at a belt, not have to think about supplies needed to make it come out from this way. Let's see. Right, that looks good. That messed up suddenly at the very last second. So let's try that again. It did it again. Oh, that's annoying, but oh well. You know, I'm not gonna fuss over it. Okay. Maybe now it will work the right way. Okay, it seems to be. Right. So set this machine to make cable. And my oxygen is getting low. Let's hop over to the ship. Actually, I can go ahead and scoot forward just a little ways. Okay. Something tells me I'm going to need a splitter up here, but for right now, I think I'll just place the belt And if I need to make any adjustments, I can do it later. Right. So now there are other copper-based components that I'm sure, like for example, I need copper to make circuit boards, I think. And let's see if there's anything that can be made just directly out of copper. Doesn't seem to be. So, do I have enough to make, let's see, assembling machines and see what kind of things I can make from copper. Okay, here we go. Plated connectors, they need copper. Circuit boards. Antenna. Cable can make rotors as well. Computers. It's quite a few things. That also needs cable, which is copper. No copper there. Let me start writing some of this stuff down. Okay, so circuit boards. Next, we have antenna. Next. Rotor. Pure. Controller. Connector. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. And I have 2 more available slots. So what it means is I'm going to have to make another one of these nearby. And get all the infrastructure prepared for building all the rest of that stuff. But I will not bore you with that stuff for now. I think right here is a good place to kind of finish up here for this recording session. But yeah, that's just a general gist of what I'm doing with my base and how I'm going to be working going forward, I think, until I find out something new that shakes things up all over again. But yeah, thanks for chilling out with me, and I hope you find this game as interesting as I do, and I'll see you next time.